Everyone, it's Michael White, and here's my co-host.
That's Anthea Morpheus. Good morning to you all.
Yeah, we're back. We're back, guys. We're gonna have a steady schedule, um, and again, we're adding a lot more. If you watch our first episode, and it's gonna be in all of our episodes. We're gonna be pointing people towards therapy. We're gonna be adding a lot more content and vigorousness to our podcast. Because again, people need to hear this information because it's beneficial, right? It'll help you be a better partner and actually help you select a better partner.
Yes, absolutely. That's what it's all about, right? We're always learning. Every day's a new day. Every day's new experiences. And if we can come to the table and bring some good value and our experiences and our knowledge and what we've learned along the way, then someone said the other day, you don't know who you're touching by just doing one video. You don't know whose life can change from that one thing that someone said, So that's why I really appreciate what we do. I love it. And I hope you guys love it too. And please show your love by liking and sharing, subscribing to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, guys, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much for you to like. It's free.
It's free.
It's free. We're not asking. It's free. Like us on Instagram, like us on YouTube, wherever you feel. But it's free, guys. We're not asking you to pay money. It's free.
Yeah.
We're going to start our promo video, guys, and then we're actually going to continue off of the 9 reasons why a relationship fails, because we didn't get to do the whole thing, so we broke it up into 2 parts. So we'll play the promo video for you, and then we will get started in today's topic.
Yay.
So, guys, again, when we talk about some things, because I want to say a few things before we start today's video. Hopefully you don't mind. When we talk about the certain truths, we're not talking about all women and we're not talking about all men. It might sound like it is, but we're not. And if you know what I mean, if you feel that way and you feel like they're talking about all people, man, you might have a little too much sugar in your tank and you might need to just chill a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting a little too much in your feelings, you might need to chill. We're just acknowledging certain truths on both sides. We're not saying that all women are like this a certain way, and we're not saying all men are like this, but we are able to acknowledge the certain truths.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it's everyone's different, right? But when we're speaking about things, we're really gearing towards a good relationship. We're not speaking about people who are treating you in such a bad way, and we're not saying to stay with them, or we're not even saying to stay or leave or anything. It's just it's a conversation about our side of things and what we've learned and what we find works. We've had the failure in relationships, so we know what doesn't work. So we can obviously look at the other side, say, well, this does work. And we can really highlight what works and what doesn't work.
Well, it's looking at the truth, right? Like, it's being subjective without having an emotional attachment to it, but it's like, this is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of getting angry about it, saying, oh, you know what? Okay, that's what the truth is. Because it's like, even me, I watched a video a couple days ago called 8 at the Table, which we've shared their video. And the guy says, women don't listen. Y'all are hard-headed. Literally, all the women started jumping on him. And he was like, you see, but that's my point. You're not listening. I make a statement and you're just ready to pounce like a lion in the jungle. And it's like, all he's saying is that if you took the time to listen, and in the sense of guiding the relationship to a better place, saying, hey, if you do it this way, XYZ, we can go this way. That's all he's saying. And it's like, it's so crazy. So before we get into today's video, though, I actually have something I actually wanted to share with Anthea, and actually one of our subscribers wrote to me. I speak to her. She's a married woman. She has some great text, some great knowledge when it comes to marriage. She thinks like we do, very, very old school mindset. I'm going to read it, and I'm definitely going to get Anthea's opinion on it, and then we will start today's video. So I have to read it from my phone, guys. That's why I'm kind of looking back and forth, but I'm going to read the message. It says, everyone has stuff to work on. One thing I don't like it is when a man tells a woman something out of love. It all depends on how he speaks to her, and she says it's controlling. Women nowadays want to be respected as seen as equal, but then don't want to work on the relationship and want a man to be everything and anything, but don't want to be told what to do or how to be. So I think if you're with someone like that, she doesn't really love you or isn't in love, because she would have never have to experience that battle. Like, she would never put the relationship in that battle. She's either not ready or not in love. When I met my husband, it was just a natural instinct as a woman that I want to be perfect for him. I want him to think I'm the best in the world. I want him to marry me. So I'm going to act like a wife from the beginning. Go.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And it's so true, isn't it? You know what? And I think I'm going to gear more towards the fact that many people, I think they love, but they don't know how to be in a relationship because they haven't been taught. So they have their barriers up all the time. There's always like this battle to be fought when actually there's no battle there. The guy just is coming from a place of love. He wants the best for you. But where women have got this girl power thing going on and don't tell me what to do. And a lot of women do have that. Don't tell me, I don't think, you think that you're this and I can do this myself. We're actually in a relationship. That's a man's role. So be able to step back from that and be able to embrace the man coming in. And like the lady said, and I love that, she wanted to show him that I am for you and I want to be the best wife. I want to be the best woman. So not that she's dropping to his knees or to his feet and saying anything you say, I do. No, it's a respect. It's a complete and utter respect level. So if your man says to you, babe, what you're wearing just there, it's really short and I don't really want you going out in that. You go, all right, then cool. Or there's a way
because he said it out of love, right?
Because he said it out of love. Yeah, it's out of love. He didn't say it to you to say, I'm controlling you. I don't want you wearing that skirt. No, he's saying, look, babe, we're going out together. I don't really want others to be seeing your backside like that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you don't either. Like if I'm with my man, I wouldn't want other man to be seeing any other part of me because that's for my man. And the same from him to me. All right, when we're on the beach, it's different. Like you're going to naturally walk around in a different way. But in general, there's ways to carry yourself and to be. And I just think she's really on point what she's saying. And thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, I really appreciate it. That I've read, because again, she's acknowledging that she's showing up, and this was pre-marriage. This was before they were married. She's like, I wanted him to marry me, so I was a wife right from the beginning. She didn't give him a challenge, didn't make him jump through these hoops. She looked at it, she was like, that's the guy that I want him to marry me. So she understood that there were certain characteristics and principles that she had to show for him to marry her. It's not complicated.
No. And it's coming with peace, isn't it? Oh,
she's a very peaceful woman.
You can tell by what she's written there. It's calming. She's not coming out in any aggressive manner. It's a very calming way. She's not beating anyone. She's not saying anyone's doing wrong. She's just saying that, and it's so true in this day and age, isn't it, Michael, where there's this, I want equal rights, and which, okay, I get that, how in certain aspects, but at the same time, it doesn't change being a woman and being feminine. So whether you've got equal rights or not, you can still be a lady. You can still show up as a lady, right?
Well, I think what's interesting about her point is she says they want the men to show up and be everything and anything, but they don't want to be told what to do or how to do it. But you expect him to be everything. You expect him to be like the be all end all. He can't make no mistakes. He can't do nothing wrong. But you can't be told what to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, what?
Yeah, and there's
Like,
a big confusion there, isn't there? There is a big confusion in that, in the society in general. And too many people are quick to actually jump on that and say, as soon as a man says something like, oh, you know, I want you to maybe, why don't you wear a bit more, something a bit more colorful? Why don't
yeah,
you do your hair in a certain way? Or I'd be really nice to have this. And they take it as, you know, a control,
personal.
and it's not personal, and it's not a control. It's, and you got to look at the bigger picture. I think you've got to look at every part of it to be able to make that assumption in the first place, or that, or come to that that decision that that's what you think it is, control. And I tell you what, ladies, don't go and talk to your friends, because they're going to be the first ones to say, oh my God,
Oh,
he's just so controlling, just leave
yeah,
him.
reason.
Every woman I know has always done that. As soon as I've gone and said something, they're like, oh no, walk away from him, just leave him. And it's like, well, actually, it's not just about walking away. It's about seeing what can I do to make this better, and how can I communicate and show up at the best version of me, and have him show up at the best version of him, you know.
Well, I
Not
think the
just about
biggest
walking
thing,
away.
and I think the biggest thing, and guys, put a one in the chat if you want us to talk about this. People want the love, but they don't know how to be in a relationship. They want
Yeah.
the love part, but they don't know how to be or operate in a relationship.
Yeah, and that's, you know, I really think that that is a big one. And I'm one of those people who I didn't know how to be in a relationship. And it's all about learning. But you know what? It's nice to know that I can, you know, if you can recognize that in yourself, and you
You
know,
can, yeah.
then you can work on that, you know. But to actually always be defensive and always be the one saying, oh, you know, they're wrong, they're wrong, they're wrong. In some cases, yeah, like I can say from my relationships, yeah, I can say like, okay, they were really showing up in a way, and I actually showed up. I can say I showed up the best I could to a certain degree. But I can say that the other person just wasn't for me. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna bash their character, because they could have shown up for someone else completely different to how they showed up for me. I just made it easy for them to be lazy, or to be, not to show up and be that man or the masculine side. I made it easy for them, so I can't blame them. I can only blame myself to say, well, you're the one that allowed that, you entertained that to a certain degree, so if you're
Well,
receiving that.
well, usually what they say is that's the okey poke. So, because like I'm gonna use your example, think about it. They were obviously masculine at some point before you dated them. They were, because that's why you wanted to go out with them. But then they changed midway through the relationship.
Yeah.
You see, that was the okey poke. That was the magic trick.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Because that's when you were like, well, now he's getting complacent and lazy. But when you met him, he wasn't that way. You were like, you know what I mean? Because there was initial attraction, because then you would have never gone out with him.
Absolutely. And it's about not vetting somebody. That's, you know, and I've learned that massively. And I think that's something we all should take on board, like to really vet someone, take that time to understand. And before you jump head first, yeah.
Know what you're getting into. Yeah, know
Yeah.
what you're getting into,
Know
what
what
you're
you're getting
signing up
into.
for before you do it. So we're actually going to share today's video. But no, I like what you said about men sometimes getting complacent, because they do. You know, they get the girl, they're like, I can kind of get a little lazy. I got her, she mine. Nah, man, you got to be on point all the time when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
So
I think you just got to be on point, full stop, right, Michael, when it comes to a relationship?
Yeah, you got to be on your game. So anyways, we're going to play today's video. We're actually going to finish it up today. We're going to break down some points, but we're going to let Mr. Stefan go. We're going to share the link down and below. Please do, guys, go follow his work. His stuff is fantastic. It's for men and for women. So please definitely do go follow.
We're on point. We're on number 4 now, aren't we? We've covered
yeah, this is the ending of number 4, rolling into number 5.
Okay, cool.
You know they're not for you, but you want to hold on to the good stuff on the surface to validate staying with this person. Because two people who have a genuine connection, two people who it's really there with each other, they automatically go deeper. It deeper pulls them in. It's like a undeniable force of nature that happens when two people really click like that. So when two people can be together for so long and still be surface driven, that means there's a huge disconnect in this relationship and it will inevitably fail. All right, so let's keep this moving. The fourth early sign that relationship will fail, that it's a one-sided relationship. And so some may say, well, that's common sense. But the reality is that a lot of individuals engage in these one-sided relationships. A lot of people, and it may be you, sometimes become so, I hate to use the word desperate right now, but I'm going to use the word desperate. So desperate for this relationship, so desperate to hold on to this person that they lose sight of the fact that they're the only ones pouring into the relationship and that it is very one-sided and built upon what they do for them rather than that person also doing for you. And so building upon that foundation is a faulty, horrible foundation, and that's why it's going to last for various reasons. One, you have to understand that if you even embraced a one-sided relationship to begin with, there is something within you that needs healing that's allowing you to engage in such a broken dynamic. All right. Number two, if that person is allowing themselves to take and not give, then they're not genuinely in love. And so again, that just shows the foundation for success is not there. All right. And they may be narcissistic. They might have their own issue. Well, they got some issue somewhere. All right, that allows them to be selfish and just take from you and not give. So again, it's just showing you more reasons why this will fail. Also, let's look at it from the specific dynamic of, let's say it's a man chasing a woman. All right. I always say, listen, nobody should be chasing anybody. You need a mutual effort. So let me make 2 points that you need to understand. If he is chasing the woman, all right, and some men will allow themselves to do that because, again, they become so infatuated and obsessed with getting this woman that they don't even consider that she is not pouring back into him. But that will not last because at some point when he finally gets you, he will now look at you like, okay, it's your turn. I did my part to get you. I chased you. I put in all this effort. Now where is my reward for this? And so when it starts off one-sided, it will continue one-sided. It will just flip sides. Okay, so he may be the one doing all the work now, but it's going to be you doing the work later if you accept staying in that relationship. But it should not have been like that to begin with. But also consider the fact that another reason why that relationship is going to fail is because let's just say it's not even about the man being chasing and switching tables on you later. If I see a situation where the man or the woman is putting all the effort in, for this specific example, I have to speak on the man putting the effort and the woman not truly engaging in a mutual effort. Even if he is genuine and has serious intentions with you, a man with genuine interest cannot keep this going without you reciprocating. All right. And you'll see a lot of situations. I've seen a lot of situations where the man is going hard for the first few months. The woman takes a wait and see approach, thinking, well, I'm the woman. I'm the prize. So he needs to show me that it's worth it for me to open up. But then all you do is push him away because now he feels devalued. He doesn't.
I think we need to talk about this. Guys, you know what? I've been in a lot of these. Personally, where I'm going to give both sides where, as Stefan said, where feelings are not being reciprocated, or I've put in so much work, I'm like, it's your turn now. And it doesn't work out well, guys. Depending on even with the woman you're dealing with, as he said near the end, like she's like, well, I'm the prize. I kind of have to wait and see. And I've been there, guys. It's not a good look. But I like what he said at the beginning. If you are entertaining these type of relationships, it shows your level of brokenness.
Yeah, it does, right? And actually, we're taught, I don't know about what generations are taught now, but I remember being taught that a man should always chase you. And actually it doesn't work out well, because they are going to want, they're putting so much effort into, when they do get you, what are you giving back? And then, yeah, Stefan's so right. It's unbalanced from the beginning. I think if two people, when two people come together, that it's right for one another, and that's a good, healthy relationship, I think you naturally both put the same kind of effort in. You naturally have this balance going on, because you both want to, it's not that you need each other, you both want one another, you both want to show up. You don't need to show up, you don't need to call one another. It's not because you're thinking, oh my God, I need to call him or she, or I need to call her. It's I want to. And I think there's a huge difference between that need and that want, right?
I agree with you. And that's the thing, you see, like, as I said, if you're entertaining somebody where it's like one-sided, that's a reflection of you. That's not a reflection of them. That's a reflection of you. The fact that, like, you are thinking that this person's for you and you're for them. When, again, and I'm going to bring it back to my friend's email, you see, she was like, I want to be a wife for him. Right from the beginning. So her mindset was like reciprocation right off the bat. You see what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't thinking, I'm the prize, I'm this. Reciprocation right off the bat. Because I've always personally feel that if somebody really likes you and they're into you, they don't make it difficult for you to get close to them.
No, they don't. And it's like, to actually look at yourself as a prize. I mean, come on. You don't even need to go there. You're not a prize.
Some people have that mindset, man. I'm the prize.
Well, you're not the prize. I'm sorry, but you're a human being. Like, well, you know, all right, let's just not go there, because that's just
we won't go.
Well, you know what? That's a whole new
we'll save that for another topic. Actually,
yeah,
we'll save that for another topic. But we'll let Mr. Stefan finish his idea and thought.
Feel appreciated. He doesn't feel like you are as serious about him as he is about you. And then when he walks away, or when he falls off with his effort, I've seen many women now say, well, the man was always playing games. No, he wasn't playing games. You was the one playing. You were the ones with your walls up. You were the one who wasn't matching his energy and effort. Again, both.
I need to comment on that.
I don't know what. I knew. I could feel it.
The deflection. You see what he's saying? Like, oh, he's playing games. No, you were playing games. Like, you weren't matching his energy. You were playing games. And it's not like a blame game, like, oh, you did it. But no, take accountability. You were the one playing the games. You're just trying to deflect and pass the buck.
Yeah. You know what? It's so funny, isn't it? It's so funny how someone is actually doing something themselves, but they're so quick to say it's someone else, because they know it's them playing the games in their head. Oh, I'm not going to text him back just yet. I'm going to wait. Or no, I'm going to make him wait. I said I'll call at 8 o'clock, but I'm not going to call at 8 o'clock. Now that's playing games. And then if he
falls off with his effort, and then you get mad at him for not putting in effort, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Oh dear.
Oh my God. Yeah. He's gonna wrap it up, but yeah, it's the most confusing thing in the world.
Side should be making a mutual effort to build a healthy relationship. And when it's a one-sided affair, this is a clear sign this relationship is not going to last. All right, so now the fifth sign that the relationship will not last is you can't be yourself around them. No. So at the end of the day, I'm going to make this one kind of quick. For relationships, again, a lot of people are able to get into relationships by, one, overlooking red flags, and by bringing forth their representative. All right? And your representative is not a sustainable personality. It's not sustainable behavior, because it's not your true self. Now, many individuals don't know who the hell they truly are. And that's problem number one. We've got to take time to learn ourselves, love ourselves, and stand strong and confident in who we are as individuals and not play the game of trying to be something we're not to get someone, but instead be who we are and wait to receive the person who fully embraces that person. Now, that does not mean do not become the best version of yourself. So we should still be aiming to become better and evolve, but we have to identify who our true selves are and stick with that and grow from there, all right? But so now when we're talking about these relationships and why they're not lasting or why they will not last, because again, if you are not being your true self, not only can you not sustain being the person that they have accepted you being, all right, but then you may find yourself entertaining someone that you don't really like in the long term either, all right? Because they don't really match who you truly are. So a lot of people put on this act to get who they want, only to turn around and be like, what the hell did I do to myself? Like, how did I set myself up? I don't like this person like that. And now you are uncomfortable, you are miserable because you can't be you. That's a huge problem. So when you cannot be yourself, you gotta address that first and foremost. But again, to eliminate that from even being a problem, you've got to learn and love yourself before you get in a relationship. But if you're already there, let me just say this, because some of you are watching this and you're already in a relationship, watching these signs to see if they apply to you, okay? But some of y'all already hit y'all in the gut and it does apply. But let's just say this one applies to you. You have not felt like you can be yourself around this person that you're with. Again, I'm not going to tell you to stop right now and go end your relationship. I'm going to tell you to identify your true self, to talk to your partner, because there are some cases that, hell, you might find out that being your true self, they love it even more, all right? And in other cases, they'd be like, yo, I didn't sign up for this. Nah, that's not going to work for me. Either way, discuss it, put it out there, start walking in your true self. And then if you two see that you guys cannot coexist anymore, all right, then we move on. We move on to bigger and better things, and we don't try to hold on to this because we've invested so much time and energy into this relationship, because it's not.
I know there's something you want to say about it, so go.
Oh, yeah, go for it. You go first, go.
I honestly think, as he said, I think that's true, not being able to be yourself, and that means being able to talk to them. That means being able to show up with you, flaws and all. And if you can accept them, flaws and all, then walk away. As he said, talk to your partner. But in most cases, when you try to talk to them and they're explosive, they're angry, they don't have no emotional intelligence, then I think it's the wrong relationship. Because as he said, a lot of times, like, you want this person so bad, and then they give you the opportunity to get with them, and then you see the true them, and you're like, damn, I didn't sign up for this. Like, what the hell? I didn't sign up for none of this.
What I liked about one of the things he said, which I was thinking and then he said it, which was quite amazing. He said, you might even show up as yourself and they might love that even more of you. So people don't realize, and that actually when you are yourself, it's so authentic and it's so calming because you're showing up as you and you're not hiding any part of you.
It's
that actually, that's right. So the other person can take that in such a beautiful way, or they could go the other way. But if you feel that you're on edge about speaking to your partner about any situation, then you definitely are not being able to be yourself. And absolutely. And you know, you hear it so often, someone doesn't want to go to their partner because they don't know how they're going to react. And that's not being you. Like,
that's a red flag.
That's a big red flag, right? Absolutely. So I think there's so many things that can tell you without even having to listen to anybody, but listening to you and listening to yourself and seeing and knowing what it is to be in a good relationship. Now, if you think of your friends, right? your really good friendships that you can be, especially with girls, you can be yourself. You can, if you want to be goofy, if you want to be serious, if you want to dance around, anything you want to do, you can just be you. Anything you want to talk about, there's no judgment. You just speak it. That's the same with a relationship and a mouse, like mouse side, as in a romantic relationship. If you start to feel that you can't go and say something to your partner, then there's either something with you personally and you're holding back and you're not showing up as yourself, or there's a problem within the relationship. But you need to be able to sit down and communicate that so you know where you're at and where you're going with things. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck in the hole, and it's not the way forward.
Agreed. So we'll let him finish his point, and we're going to move on to the next one.
Where we belong, and we have to be willing to accept that. All right, so now number 6. Number 6 is the balance of energy is off in the relationship. Now, this is a point that needs its own video. I'm just gonna let y'all know right now, but I'm gonna try to just give a quick summary of it. I have this thing called the balance of relationship energy. I believe that in order for a relationship to be successful, you have to have a masculine energy and a feminine energy. Even if you were to study and look at homosexual relationships, the ones that actually have success and are long-term, you will see that they embrace that dynamic, a masculine and a feminine. So when I see a relationship where one, either you're seeing the man and woman both being way too masculine, or the man and woman being very feminine, this typically leads to this is not going to work. Plain and simple. There is no balance of energy here. Things are thrown off, and one or the other is going to get sick of the other person. And in many cases, when you have the man being very masculine and the woman being very masculine, if they're even able to get in a relationship with each other, and there's reasons why those two people may initially entertain each other. Typically in that dynamic, the man will get sick of the woman. All right. And on the flip side, if you have the feminine man and the feminine woman, the woman will get sick of the man. All right. Now listen, you live your life how you want to. If you, as a woman and man, if the woman listening to this want to say, oh, well, I don't mind being the masculine one and he can be the feminine one. If that's what you want for yourself, hey, knock yourself out. I don't believe that works long-term in the vast majority of cases. All right. I'll never say all, because I think there's always exceptions to every rule. But I think in the vast majority of cases, it only works long-term when the man is assuming the masculine role, the masculine energy, and the woman assuming the feminine energy. This is the sustainable balance. All right. They may initially be able to pull it off in reverse initially, but in the long term, what you'll find in a lot of relationships is that, let's just say the woman's the masculine, the man's the feminine. In time, she starts to lose respect for the man. She starts to look down upon him. She starts to be less sexually attracted to him. All right. She feels like he doesn't take enough initiative. There's a lot of things that start to come about that leads to a lot of frustration and resentment in that relationship. On the flip side, the man's being the more feminine one, he starts to tend to not feel like he's being respected. He doesn't get treated like a man, or she doesn't let me be a man, which that's a whole nother discussion right there. And again, it turns into a lot of resentment and clashing in the relationship. And I always say, if you were to now see these two people cheat on each other, what you're going to see is, in the vast majority of cases, that woman will go cheat on that man with a more masculine man, and that man cheats on that woman with a woman that makes him feel like a king. So they essentially go search out the balance I'm laying out for you elsewhere, because they're not getting that balance of energy within the relationship.
Go ahead.
Powerful. Absolutely powerful. It's so true, right? It's so true, because you know what? Being in a relationship and then you, like, as a woman taking on that masculine energy and the male taking on the feminine energy, it can only come to resentment, and it's only going to come to a point where you're either going to split or you're going to go and search for that balance elsewhere. Because a man doesn't want to be, if a man is into women, is straight, shall we say, he's not going to want to be she wants to be with a man, you know. So if you haven't got that balance there, then you're gonna want that balance. You're gonna desire it. You're gonna feel it, and you're gonna want to try and get it somewhere. And so many people, and I don't know if he mentioned this, but I've seen that they're so frightened to leave their relationship because they feel like at least it's there, at least I have someone. So rather than being able to face up to what's happening and have that conversation, they go and cheat instead. Because
well, that's what he was pretty much saying, that they'll seek out, like a man will seek out a woman that is more feminine and will let him be the man, and then a woman will seek out a man that is more masculine and not passive at the end of the day. So that's why the balance of energy is so important, and it's staying there.
Yeah.
So what I mean is, if as a man it's being masculine all the time, it doesn't mean you can't cry. It doesn't mean those things. Like, masculinity is not about beating your chest. It's about being comprehensive. It's about knowing when to be what. It's about knowing when to be passionate, when to be loving, and then when to be assertive. So that's why, as I said, it all lumps into one thing. But it's the same thing with a female. It's learning to be feminine and lead with femininity. Once you start dominating with masculine energy, he's a man. He's going to clash with you because he's going to be like, well, she wants to turn it up to 8. I'm going to turn it up to 10.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to come down to, is that. So I think the match of energy is very important, in the same vibration. So we'll definitely let him finish his thought, and then we'll add our closing thoughts at the end.
Relationship. So you've got to be very careful. Again, it is your choice how you want to go about this, but you've got to understand, when the balance of energy is not correctly set, it is more than likely going to be the end of that relationship. That relationship is going to fail pretty much without a doubt. Now we have number 7, and number 7 sign that relationship is going to fail is fighting and disrespect. Plain and simple, listen, when people are dating and early on in a relationship, typically people are trying to put their best foot forward, all right? Whether it's a representative, whether it's just them wanting so bad to make this work that they're really putting forth their best effort, people usually tend, when they're serious about somebody, to want to be their best early on. So when you see an early sign of fighting and disrespect, it's pretty much downhill from there. Because it's like, yo, if you can't come with your best early on, then what do we have to look forward to later? If they cannot come correct and speak to you respectfully early on, it's probably going to get worse. And in many cases, unfortunately, worse becomes physical abuse, all right? Constant emotional abuse. It isn't just the one fight here. No, it becomes worse than that. So we got to be very aware of the early sign of fighting and disrespect. Listen, disagreement is acceptable, disrespect is not. So there's nothing
big, huh?
I love what he said. Disagreement is okay, but disrespect is not. I agree with him 100%. Your words should never cross the threshold of disrespect. Yes, you can disagree. Yes, you can voice your opinion. Yes, you can feel some type of way, unless it's justified. Don't say, well, I feel like you're doing this, but the person's putting in work. Now you're just being a dick. But I love what he said. Disrespectful language or shaming language, all types of it, is unacceptable, man. Like when you are deflecting and you're shaming somebody for not doing what they're doing, when they are showing up for you, that's a no-go. You're being disrespectful.
Yeah.
But you see, everybody's going to take disrespect differently.
Yeah. But some people think it's okay. Isn't it? I find it really interesting where some people think it's okay to, like, if somebody swears at them and really is disrespectful, says some really disrespectful stuff towards them, and because they've heard it all their life around them, they think it's okay, and it's not okay. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's a big disrespect. Nobody has the right to be speaking to you in that manner. Like, I don't care what rings you got on your fingers. I don't care if they gave you 10 rings and you gave them 10 rings, they all cost 10 million each. It does not give anybody the right to disrespect you in that way. Somebody calling you stuff and continuously calling you things, or telling you that you're wrong all the time, or trying to shame you for things that you've said, or attacking your character. No.
Yeah, it's unacceptable. Well, that's why he said speaking with love. Like, it's different if you add correction, as you said, like, hey, babe, like, can you go about it this way? That's speaking in a loving manner. That's different.
Yes.
Compared to if you say, like, the F word, or you swear, or you cuss, or you're raising your voice.
It's different.
Now you're entering into realms of disrespect.
Oh, massively. And when you're speaking to somebody from, if you're having a disagreements can be so healthy. Like, you don't have to agree on everything. Like, I can give you a good example of disagreements with my kids. I remember them getting into disagreements, and there was never, it wasn't a fight. It was just disagreement, and they would laugh through it. And that's how I knew. And I would sit back and watch. I say allow, as in I wouldn't get involved, because it's really cool to watch two people who are balanced in their own relationship as siblings, and be able to discuss something, come to a disagreement without bashing each other or without being disrespectful. It was just it's disagreement. That's it. They just don't agree on something, and it's fun to disagree as well, because you can get different perspectives on things. And I think that's a healthy thing, and that's part of the balance, right?
I agree. That's an excellent point. I like that. So we'll let him wrap it up, and then we're almost done, guys.
Nothing wrong with disagreeing. There's nothing wrong with, you guys having your opinions and maybe debating in a healthy manner. But when we're talking about fighting and disrespect, hell no. That's not acceptable. That cannot fly. And if that is not nipped in the bud early, because again, I always say, you don't just run from a red flag. You address it first. If you see the fighting or the disrespect and you address it, they correct it, okay, cool. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they come from toxic environments where they think this is acceptable behavior. But once you make it known it's unacceptable, if they're willing to fix it, great. But if they continue, absolutely not. Gotta go. Because again, if you continue with them, it's only going to get worse, and the relationship is going to inevitably fail anyway. So let's wrap up these last few really fast. So number 8 is lack of healing and lack of trust. All right. So the reality is that many people jump from relationship to relationship, not having properly healed from their past. And typically this leads to one, actually selecting the wrong person to be with to begin with, because a lack of healing throws everything off. It creates a fear of vulnerability that causes people to now choose partners who they feel they have emotional control with. And now that may sound like an okay thing, but the reality is that no, it's extremely harmful. The safe choice is usually the wrong choice. And so people will make these safe choices thinking that I don't have to worry about these issues here. But in reality, there is no connection. There is no deeper love there. This is not where they truly belong. And that will show its ugly face at some point in that relationship. But then also, what baggage emotionally are we bringing into that relationship? And this is where this lack of trust comes in. It's one thing when the partner, the person we're dealing with, is behaving in ways that creates a lack of trust. But in many cases, people are coming in with a huge lack of trust because of how much they've been hurt by people in the past. When that is a present issue, that is typically going to lead to failure in the relationship. Again, now it's a correctable thing, but too many people overlook this and then wonder why things go left. Wonder why the quality relationship is as bad as it is. We have to be willing to do something about it. So real quick, get your copy of Love After Heartbreak. This is a best-selling book. It gives you the steps to healing from any hurt. Childhood trauma, relationships, you name it. It will lay out how to get it done. Click the link in the description or the comment section. Get your copy. I'm telling you, it will change your life. You just have to follow the steps as it's laid out in the book. But yes, lack of healing, lack of trust, definitely an early sign of the relationship is going to fail. The ninth sign relationship is
talk about that one. A lot of people bring a lot of emotional baggage into their relationship. They've been hurt, they've been cheated on, they've had some stuff happen to them. So as he says, when they're coming into the relationship with that, it is correctable, but it's also, you also have to see is the person worth it, and are they willing to do the work to correct the behavior? Because some people will sit there and think, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm perfect, I'm whatever. It's like, no, you've been cheated on, you need to go take a minute.
People don't, do they? They just jump and jump. And I remember, I think we said before, I'd heard another relationship coach say, if you've been cheated on, I think he was speaking to a particular lady, and he said, you're going into a relationship, and if you first of all, number one, really, you should be healing. You should have healed first. But if you go into a relationship, you can't go in that relationship and think to yourself, what if he cheats? What if this? What if that? You have to go in with your own trust in you and your judgment and your life and your decisions that you've made to be in that relationship. Trust yourself. And if anything happens, then you know that you're going to have to trust that you know how to deal with the situation.
Well, as he said, they try to control the narrative instead of just being in a form of trust. They try to control the relationship narrative, and that's the worst part about it, guys. Like, we're not telling you that to not, because everybody has their own stuff, but it's, have they dealt with it enough to be a functional, productive person in that relationship? That's what it comes down to. Are they functional enough to be in the relationship? So we're going to wrap up the last point, and then we'll give our final thoughts.
Is going to fail, and again, I have one last bonus after this, is bad timing. This is another one that requires a video of its own, but I will quickly say this. And this is one that's maybe harder to visually see, and as a person, you have to be honest with yourself. Sometimes we jump into relationships before we are truly ready. And it could be because of a lack of healing. It could be we haven't given ourselves time from that last relationship. It could be we are not fully ready to be as present as we need to be in this relationship. Maybe we are pursuing things in our career, in our purpose, that right now requires our full attention. There's various reasons, but we got to be careful of jumping into a relationship before it is truly time. Because when we do that, we will throw everything off. And yes, I believe in right person, wrong time. So many people have met the right person, but they got into the relationship at the wrong time, and that caused the relationship to fail. The relationship failing was not a sign that this is not the right person. It was a sign that these individuals had not gotten to a place they needed to as people before they could have success in a relationship together. Especially when you're dealing with the right person, because being with that right person requires a higher level of vulnerability, a higher level of communication, a higher level of all these qualities that we talk about in order to have success. And so you cannot cut corners and think everything's going to work out just fine. All right. And so the bonus I want to throw at you, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, is lack of connection. At the end of the day, I don't care how great the relationship looks. I don't care what else is going on. I don't care if you say, we've been doing well for the past few years, whatever. I don't know. All this stuff's coming in my mind. My point is, nothing matters if there is no connection. And you got to be honest with yourself about that. And the lack of connection contributes to not being able to be yourself around each other. The lack of in-depth conversation. A lot of these things that I talked about are symptoms of a lack of connection. But at the end of the day, you cannot overlook that. So many people get involved with individuals that they don't have a genuine connection with. You may have a high level of desire, a high level of attraction, but if connection is not there, the relationship is going to fail at some point.
Okay, so that's all of the points. Me and Anthony are going to cover some. Because it's funny, though, about the timing thing. Because me and her had a conversation about this a long time ago. And I'm like, yo, it's the wrong time for her to date someone. We had the conversation. Timing.
I remember.
Like, you might want them, but it's like the timing's off, and it is what it is. But
and yeah, and I really do agree with that. Like you can. Okay, let's say if I met somebody, I'm going to speak on personal side here, so I can relate it to, so I can just, you know, put it in that content of things. So where I've been building businesses, now had somebody come in and they were the right person for me, I would have said it's the wrong time. I couldn't be out. I wasn't able to give them my time and attention and my energy. And when every time I did, or if I would have done, let's say, I was taking away from what I really wanted to be doing, which meant that I wouldn't be showing up at my best self because my thoughts are going, well, I need to go and do this instead. So I think you can have someone come in but it's the wrong time, and that's nothing bad. And and I always believe if it's meant to be that way, if it's going to be that you two are going to be connected, then the right time will come around very soon and things will work out to be that way. But don't be in that relationship until that happens, you know. Be you and do what you need to do first. And someone had said to me the other day, actually, about getting into a relationship, and they're in business. And I said to them, well, they didn't ask me anything, but I just said to them, just be mindful what you're doing, because you've got a lot of, you know, you're always saying how busy you are in business and what's going on and the clients and all of this is happening. So by you dating, you're either going to be taking away your time from your businesses, or you're going to date somebody. Yeah, and you're not going to be able to fit them in. So like, really,
he might want somebody, but his life right now doesn't allow him to.
That's right. That's right. The life right now doesn't allow that. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So you really got to be mindful of that, I would say.
I agree with that. And then obviously the last one is pretty straightforward: connection. Don't lie to yourself. Yeah. If there's not a connection, there's not a connection. Keep it moving.
And people just fight that, don't they? They go, oh, there's no connection. But, you know, we have heard something that I just thought that's really it's interesting, because he said there's people go, yeah, for about a couple of years now, we've got on really well. And he goes, and then Stefan said, no. And it's so true. It just because a couple of years you might have done that. If there's no connection, you're making something happen.
You're making something happen there that's not there.
That's not there. You're trying to convince yourself that, oh, this happened, so we connected for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or an hour, you know, and we're going to go on that little note of we had that connection for that small amount of time. Yeah. And that it's like, no, just it's not there. Accept it. Stop being afraid to walk away from your relationships, man. Honestly.
Yeah, that's so. Well, we're not telling you to just walk away all the time.
No, but
caveat, as he said, talk about it, address it, move forward. But if it happens multiple times, then walk away.
Yeah,
we're not telling you just to leave and monkey branch to different relationships. We're telling you to talk it out, work it out, and then go from there.
Take it from there.
Anyways, guys, we're going to wrap it up because we've given you almost an hour, but you might want to tune in for Wednesday's episode. It's called, Are You Compromising Too Much in Your Relationship? You might want to tune into that one. And then Friday is going to be called, How to Know If a Guy Likes You, He Claims You. And I think a lot of women are going to want to pay attention to that because they're in situationships or whatever it is they're dealing with. And we're actually going to address that. And that's just going to be a flat out conversation. So, thank you again for joining us. As I said, guys, please like, share, subscribe, help us climb up in the algorithm. We as you can see, we put our blood, sweat, and tears into this brand. We do it 3 times a week. And as I said, liking the videos and supporting us is free. So the more and more support we get, the more and more content we'll create, and the more paid content we'll create and give you guys deeper, more fulfilling things.
Yes.
So with that being said, guys, we'll talk soon and take care.
Thank you.